Let's get rid of the stick. Hey, what day is this, Minnie? Woo! Happy Festool Friday, everybody. It is a beautiful day here in sunny Lebanon, Indiana. And it is noon, so welcome to Festool Friday. All right, we got a wicked episode for you. This is episode what? 55.
Woohoo!
Yeah, baby, that's a double five. All right, so to get underway, like I always do, I'm going to start a little differently today. I want to introduce Sparky. Hey, everybody, this is Sparky.
He's awake.
All right. Attaboy. That's about the mellowest doggy I've ever met. Okay, over here we have Min Min. She's working the whiteboard. We have Brent Shively working online chat.
Woo.
Thank you, Brent. On the camera, we have the unit known as Chris Seibert, and Big D's right over here.
Here I am.
All right, cool. Now, what do I always say? Make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It's live. It'll be living there afterwards. People contact me all the time, say, hey, man, I can't watch it live, but thanks for putting it on YouTube continually. It's also on IG, which stands for Instagram, FB, which stands for Facebook, okay? And don't forget, on YouTube, hit that subscription bell so you don't miss a live episode. Good. Okay, so once again, I always call out a really cool department here at Festool, and I want to call out the repair department today. Those are our unsung heroes, whether they're techs, the parts runners, the people on the phone, everybody. Thank you so much. You guys make our wear and tear 3-year warranty ironclad, and we really appreciate it. It's a 48-hour turnaround in and out the door. If you ever have to get you what? Festool tool repaired. Okay, so I think that's it. So here we go. Now, episode 55. We named it Mitres and Bevels, okay? And it's with the Dominoes. And I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks that I have learned, some of the pitfalls that I have made, and I've seen people consistently make. In training classes, I call them tells. Every time, or at a trade show, whenever I'm talking to somebody, like today, one-on-one, okay, about using the domino on miter joints and bevel joints. And when I see somebody and I'm doing something at a trade show and I see somebody go like this, I call that a tell because they've been there and done that. And sometimes it's just a little tweak of a lever to make that joint perfect. And I'll show you what I'm talking about when I'm working with bevels. Okay, so earlier on, I forgot to look up the episode. I showed you how to make a 5-piece beaded door with this miter joint. Okay, the beauty of it was clamp up is so daggone easy. You can use just right angle clamps for it. So I want to walk through that first miter for you because somebody had mentioned, hey, what if I have to do this with a miter joint? No worries. I want to step you through some of the questions that came after that episode. And it's a good refresher for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 6x40 domino in here just like this. I got my 6mm bit on here. This is 20 millimeters thick, roughly 3/4, okay? So one of the things that people have asked me over the years is how do you choose the right domino? Well, you're woodworkers, you probably know, but what I was taught when I was a kid, it's a third, and a third rule, okay? You take your material, you divide it in 3, and that's the thickness of your tenon, okay? So I chose a 6mm tenon, okay? 18 millimeter is very common with plywood, but with plywood I choose a 5mm tenon. All right, so it's pretty simple because I don't want to have blow through. You'll understand in a few minutes, okay? So I'm going to use a 6x40. Look, I got my depth, my plunge depth set at 20, okay? I got my plate height set at 20. Let me get my Vaxis all set up so we can have a good clamping area. I got a small pod on here, but here's the thing, and I call these the 4 rules or laws of using a domino. I always mark my face. So because think about it. Say you get a bunch of these doors to do, and the domino doesn't have to be exactly in the center, okay, but you want to work that plate off the face. So it's a little bit of a review. We've gone over this a few times. On a miter, that's long point. that short point. I'm going to plunge, okay, work off the face, plunge in a steady rate, work off the table. Okay? Good. I got my plate height. And 4, and you'll see it in a minute. As I'm plunging, I plunge in line. Cool. And hopefully you've noticed this. When I'm using a domino, I'm always looking at my machine to make sure all my levers are tight, and I go through in my head a step where I have what? My plate height, my plunge depth, and always from long point, I use the tight position. That way there, clamp up is so daggone easy. So watch. Oh. I also want to point out this flap. I index the flap on the long point. Okay, making sure that that plate is dead flat on there. And I'm going to plunge. Whoop, 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 whoop. There's one. And I'll come over here so you get a good view of this, Chris. Okay, just like this. And plunge in line. And the one thing you want with a miter joint, okay, is simple. You want what? Your faces to be flush, but you want your long point to long point to meet up. So here's your domino, 6x40. That's why I have my plunge depth. And when I bring that together, check it out. Absolutely, I don't want to say flawless, but it is. You just make sure you have a good slide compound miter saw to cut that miter. But think about it. I can use a right angle clamp right now. I don't have that whole piece walking on that. Hopefully you follow, because the miter joint can be one of the most frustrating woodworking joints out there. Now, so there you go. There's your simple miter, okay? And in glue up, I don't need that. I don't need anything else in there except a little bit of glue. But here's where I wanted to go through this today. And Big D, you probably got a good overhead on there. I need, watch, I need a domino here, right? We'll do it tight. But then, if I just use one domino, I'll have racking and twisting. So this is a wider miter. So what we want to do is put a second one in there, and I'll step through the process. Okay, so this will live right here when I reference from the flap. That brings me 37 millimeters to the center of the domino, so it's right there. My next one is going to be right about here. So what I'll do is just real simple. I'll make a mark right here, okay? And then I'll just take a bevel square like this. Pretty simple. I'll just lay it out like this, and I'll give myself a new reference. Now remember what I said. From the long point, it's going to be what? Oh, man, I always get confused using a miter square. Here we go. Let me just bring it across. There we go. Daggone it. Okay, so look, I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to bring it right across. Now, here's the thing. Whenever I use my eye, I'm going to use the loose selection tab. Okay, so watch. I'm going to bring that over. The first one I'm going to do is going to be tight. Okay? The second one, and I always turn this knob while it's running because I'm going to be using my eye. I'm going to bring it right over here like this, and I'm going to create a little lateral tolerance. This will give me more glue line, okay? And you can come in and see that right there, Chris. That'll give me more glue line. Now, I'm going to do this one next, okay, because I'm leaving it on the wide setting. But here's where I want to go back to tight, okay? Don't forget those settings. What happens on one piece, you got to repeat the sequence on the other one. All right, so this is how you do a wider miter. And I'm going to take that, look. I'm going to put it in there. Okay, and then this one, See, you still have glue line. It's just when you're assembling this, it gives it a little wiggle room. Glue line, and you'll see how tight that is going in. But when I put it together, and because I use my eye, the alignment's going to come together absolutely perfect. So there you go. And in glue up, you have no racking, and you got a really sound woodworking joint there. So that is a couple of things I wanted to step through with miter joints. Now, this is a joint that is a bevel joint, and we'll just bring it in here so you can see it. We're going to do this on thick material and thin material. I want to start with thin material, 18 millimeter, roughly 18 to 20 is 3/4. Most plywoods out there are 18 millimeter now, okay? And you want, same thing, you want a nice crisp point to lean up, to mate up, okay? But the other thing with this joint, okay, I use a 5x30. I got to change the bit in a minute. But when I put this into glue up, you have no walking along the seam. You could basically use right angle clamps with this. You can even use blue tape to clamp it up, okay? Because you're not going to have to put any kind of fancy right angle clamps or anything on there. But there can be major confusion on this. And in fact, I experienced quite a few my first year at Festool with it. I was really frustrated. I would take it down to Lester in repair, and he would say, nope, it's not the machine. And it was actually me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step through it so you all can see it. Okay? Remember, when you're changing bits on your Domino, all right, always make sure it's unplugged. I'm going to take the wrench. I'm going to pop the housing off. All right, I love that pop. Okay, and this is the 6 millimeter bit. You know how you can tell?
I do.
It says it right on there. And I can't read that, but I know one thing. The 6 and the 5 look quite the same, except the 6 has a strong right angle shoulder, and this has kind of got a fluted shoulder on it. So I know that's the 5 millimeter. So I'm going to switch it out to the 5 millimeter. It's just a quick recognition tool for you so you can see that. So I'm going to take this, and when you tighten up a Domino cutter, you're staring right at me, Big T. You know you're going to make me laugh. Just snug it, okay? That's it. I was like, am I doing something wrong? Okay, so when you put it back on, just align one rod, and the other one goes right on. Okay. This is what goes through my head when I set this up, and I've been teaching this because I've seen people have the exact same problem I had in the beginning with this, and to this day when I show people this, I get the nod of recognition. Okay, so bear with me. What you don't want is this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it the right way, and I'll do it the wrong way. This is the right way, okay? We're going to reference this face. What you don't want, and this is what I was getting, is you don't want the mortise to come through, okay? Because then you'll have to do it on all of them and sell your box for more. I'm just kidding, okay? So you want it to be completely concealed with no blow through. So this also has come up with folks where they'll say, hey, that's why Festool came out with a 4x20. And that's not the reason we came out with that. I have a whole episode already done that we're going to do later on. I think it's in June with the 4 millimeter Dominoes, doing radius moldings and doing blind drawer boxes with it. It's really cool. And I'll show you the setup on that because that little setup right there can be confusing. So what I want to do is I want to show you the proper way of setting this up. Okay? And here's the scenario that goes through my mind. I'll do it correctly here, and I'll do it incorrectly there. Okay, but I'm also going to do it this whole piece so you can see how easy it is with the flaps. All right, so let's set it up correctly. Whoopsie. Let's get her on there. I was going to make sure I get the right pod on there so I don't go into the pod. All right, always set the miter first. I cut these at 45, so it's pretty simple. I'll just take this like this, and there's a detent at 45. And I'll tighten it. Now, when we look to size up the Domino or where we need to place the Domino, If I had left that plate height set at 20, I would have gotten blow through. I want to work off this face here, okay, but bring that tenon all the way up. Hopefully we can see that. Yeah, you can see that, Chris. Good? Good. So what we want to do is we're going to work off of this face. That's why I marked it. Okay, and we're going to use the flaps. But what you have to do is you have to work at the very top here. So I'm going to set my plate height. It's pretty simple. I loosen the lever. I take it like this, and you see this gauge block? I completely pull it all the way back. Okay, and then I bring it down. Good? Okay. The other thing I have to double check is what? My plunge depth. I am using a 5x30. Okay, Minnie, what's half of 30?
15.
Woo! Miss Metric is in the house, baby. Okay, so I'm going to take it like this, and I'm going to set it at 15. That's my plunge depth. Cool? And I'm ready to rock and roll. Let me get it all hooked up. We got my 5mm bit in there. Always make sure, I think you all see when I do this, I always make sure that the switch is off. Okay, now, a couple of techniques on this. This is pre-finished plywood, and it's slippery. So you really have to pay attention because I'm going to bring it in like this, and look, it wants to walk up, doesn't it? Hopefully you can get in here. See the space in there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to rotate it in, and I'm going to make sure my plate is nice and flat. No space. And I'm going to plunge. It's that simple. Look, I'm going to come around, and I'm going to do this one. See how there's no space right here? I know my plate is flat. Okay, so I did those just like that, and then I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to do this one. Because I want you to see how this goes together. Okay, I'm going to set that there. I'll do this in a minute. I'm going to put this in here, just like this. I'm going to grab it like this. And look at that. That's exactly what you want. You want that point to come together, but that's even too, and that's what the flap ensures you. Follow? Okay, good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this piece. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, now, let's do it incorrectly, and I'll show you what I was doing those early years or early month until we figured it out. Okay, let me reset it. I'll start it out. Remember I said start do the miter first and then set your plate height? Okay, this is such a simple thing. This is what I was doing. I'm sure some of you out there were doing the same thing. I would automatically, look, take this and bring it down, lock it in, okay, and then set my bevel. Okay. It sounds like I'm doing the same thing, right? But check this out. Look at this. I can feel it. And this is what I was getting. So you have very limited room for error here. And I want to show you this. I had set the plate down, but watch. I'm going to loosen it again. You see how it just moved down again? You need to make sure, you see where it's metal here? The plate gets hung up on the top of the flap if you don't set your miter. You should see metal to metal when you have that down there. Hopefully we can get that big D so you can see that metal to metal. See it? Good. So there you go. And there's your bevel. And that's what I don't want, or I hope you never get again, because using a 5x30 is the right choice for beveling 3/4 material. Now here's another one I want to show you. In fact, I'm going to unplug this with a 500 because while we're doing 3/4, this is another scenario I ran into. And man, I was like, because I was always cutting 45s and demonstrating with 45s. So I thought I was Mr. Big Britches. And I thought I'd cut a 22 and a half. So I want you to think about this. I have a piece here. Look, at 22.5. I cut this on the Capex at 22.5 degrees, right? And by the way, I cut those in metric degrees.
Oh my gosh.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay. So this is what I was doing. I would take this, and there's a positive detent at 22.5. So that's what I thought I set it at, right? I set it at, to do it again like that. I bottomed it out. But here's the situation. It's not 22.5. And this is how you check. You see this? See that space? This part here should be right here. It's because we're working off this face, it's the complementary angle. So everybody take 90 degrees and subtract 22.5. That is why on the angle here, there's a positive detent at 67.5. And man, I have seen so many people scratch their heads on this and go, oh, I never thought of that. That's the problem they were having. And if we look, do you see how that mates up? Absolutely perfect. I got another one for you. Big D. Subtract 30 degrees from 90. What do you get?
60.
And guess what? 30 degrees, you set it at 60. And let me show you an easy way of doing this. Look, you can actually take this and bring it right in like this and then set your plate. Okay? As long as you know. You don't really need to know the degree. You just need to know you got to set flat to flat. Follow? Okay. Now, here's another wow I got at a conference a couple years ago. And you know what? Sometimes you get involved with something, you think everybody knows this. And it's just super simple. Okay, so I'm going to do a layout here. I'm going to do some thicker material. All right? So I'm going to bring it up like this. Actually, let's switch this around a little. Just like this. Okay, so we get it nice and clean. So I need to put a tenon in here. I need to mortise this. So I could use an 8 by 40, okay? And where would I put it? Right here, right here, right here. This is how I choose tenons. I'm going to go by my rule of thumb, okay? I want a longer tenon, but I'm going to go. This is 32 millimeters thick. So what's 30? Let's just say 30 divided by 3.
10.
So I'm going to use a 10. Man, you guys are wicked good at metric today. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to use a 10 by, 50. Now, I want to show you this. This is kind of slick. If you don't know what your tenon is, if I go like this, it's actually written right on there. Okay? And that's a 10 by 50. Hopefully, hey, you got that, Chris? 10 by 50?
Looks good.
You see where it says Domino? And here's some more magic, everybody. Check this out. The world's greatest power tool company is embossed on the back. Hello!
Wow.
Okay, good. Woohoo, baby! Okay, so you like that, huh, Min? I do. Hey, Sparky. Pan down to Sparky. Sparky, did you like that?
Oh, yeah.
Woo, woo. He's the coolest shop dog ever. Okay, so I want to put my tenon here, and this is how I do it. It just makes it easy for me. So what I want to do is that's basically my center line right there. So I'm just going to scribe a line. That's where I want my tenon. And I'm going to grab my bevel gauge, and I'm just going to draw a line across where I want this.
Mm-hmm.
Big D, you got this? Okay. Hey, Big D, you get the top of my head?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm going to scribe a center line there. Okay, so I saw somebody down in Texas struggling with this, and I was going, hopefully you know this. Watch. You see right here? I'm going to open up the plate a little. See right here? I think I've said this on several occasions, maybe. That's the center of my domino bit, okay? On the XL, I'm going to grab my other wrench right here, okay? On the XL, the center line is right there. See that? You got that? Good. So when you're trying to line up the center line here, okay, I see everybody using the whole machine where it's so much simpler if you just take the fence off. Watch, I'll show you. I'm going to take this over here. Hopefully I get a good reference for you, Chris. Okay? And I can take that now and check it out. Look how easy this is. Okay? And I can bring it right in like this and just lock my plate height. Did that come through pretty good? See that? And there's my center line. And I just got to make sure it's set at, what, 45, because that's where I cut it. And there we go. Look. See? So I got to go back now because I didn't have my angle set right. But I can just walk it right up like this and just lock it in. So the tip is simple. Take the motor off of the fence and your balance or your lineup is so easy, especially if you're doing a big waterfall slab. And that's what these folks were doing down in Texas. So, and we're later this year. Hopefully we can get the right timing on this. But I want to show you guys how to cut waterfalls, okay, and join them with the Domino joiner, okay. So you can have a beautiful look like this, where the grain, this is a single board, just wraps all the way around. It's one of those little things in woodworking that's the attention to detail for grain, and we'll cover it later this year. Okay, I'm trying to go through my head if I've covered everything I wanted to cover on miters and bevels. I think I have. I'm just looking around the room, and yeah, I have. Good. Oh, hey! Make sure you get yourself a good pair of channel locks to pull those dominoes out. And don't ever forget or make sure you always dry fit before you hit it with glue.
Hey, Sedge.
Yes.
I got a special shout out today.
For who?
Judah and Selah are both
Hey!
watching.
Is that Judah and Selah you're watching? How are ya? Cool. Okay. We have a mini question.
To our fans.
Okay.
When is it okay to use UK rather than England, if ever? Or England with UK, if ever. It's just for the amount of letters it takes up on the board. You guys know better than me. I look forward to the answer. Thanks.
Oh, Minnie, you are something. We need to turn this around. Okay. Like we always do, at the end of Festool Live, it is becoming one of our favorite things to do here. And this is what's amazing. Chris, can you just pan over here? Minnie, you are one unbelievable printer. Look where you're all from. And look, she did, Minnie, color-coded even. Okay, so, I know you're not, you keep going. Oop, say don't spray. Okay, I need to go through this, but before, what was his name in Albuquerque? Don in Albuquerque. Yes. 2-pack. All right, so I'm going to call where everybody, there he is, Don from Albuquerque. Okay, we have, and thank you for watching, everybody. I'm going to call you out because you keep telling us where you're from, and we love it. Fenton, Michigan. Yolarvi, Finland. Rod from Morgan Hill, California. East Yorkshire, England. I know who that is. Malta. Chris, how are you? Wim from the Netherlands. Dale from Swatalintcote. Carthage, Indiana, Firefighter Workshop. Cool. Edmonton, Alberta. Martin from Ireland. Duleek. Atlanta, Georgia. Steve from Bermuda. Tom and Kelly, how are you from Eatonton, Georgia? You're back. Johannesburg, 2-pack, South Africa. Lausanne, Switzerland. Peter Halley, what's up, Peter? Neuchâtel, Switzerland. Marvin Martin. Hey, Marvin, I still have that piece you cut. It's up there on the window. Okay, Anna from Swatalintcote. Jed from Nolans. LaGrange, Indiana. Perth, West Australia. The Netherlands. You guys love us. Bozeman, Montana. Wiltshire, UK. Whitestone, New York. San Diego, California. London, Ontario. Charleston, West Virginia. Johnny O from Atco, New Jersey. Grand Rapids, Grandpa Chris from Cottage Grove, Minnesota. Congrats. Greeley, Colorado. Charlottesville, Virginia. Estonia. Hudson. Frederick, Maryland. Hudson, Wisconsin. There's Lowell, Mass. Yes. Hey, is that you, Goo? Kurt from Rochester, Michigan. Sunnyvale, California. Wolfsburg, Germany, Toledo, Ohio, Wolfgang from Vienna, Austria, Raymond, Maine, Ottawa, California, Ottawa, Canada. Canada?
Close.
Hey, is that you, Philip? Okay, Southern California, Bloomington, Indiana, Shenandoah, Virginia, Paul from the UK, Berlin, Germany, Woodcraft, Springfield, Virginia, Gordon from Edinburgh, Scotland, Marin from the French Alps, or is it Marin, French Alps? Oh my God, I can't wait to go to the French Alps. Hey guys, what do you think?
Let's do it.
Festool Live, French Alps?
Yeah, baby.
We're in. Okay, Pinehurst, Minnie, you in? All right, Pinehurst, North Carolina, Findlay, Ohio, Upper Arlington, Ohio, Queen Creek, Arizona, St. Pete, Florida, Durham, North Carolina, London, Halifax, Canada. I got that. County Mayo, Ireland, Ed, New York. Hey, it's Rob. Guess where Rob's from? Cinnaminson, New Jersey, Tallinn, Estonia, country of Jersey. Oh, cool. Pahonix. Oh, no, that's Phoenix. Kyalami, South Africa, Belgium, Los Angeles, Wilmington, Ohio, Oklahoma, okay? Oh, Oklahoma City is okay. No, Oklahoma City is Oklahoma. Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Wow, that is so cool. Gold from Bosnia. That is so cool. Union, Maine. Woo! Slovakia. Minnie, you got more in the back? Let's looky-see where everybody's from. Bellarap, New Jersey, Cape Town, South Africa, Jasper, Indiana, Ottawa. Oh, thank God they're back. I was wondering where it was. Delaware! Okay, Delft, the Netherlands. Houston, Graf. Houston what?
It's Texas. It's Mr. Graff was at.
Hi, Mr. Graf from Houston, Texas. Houston, Hampstead, North Carolina, Shrewsbury, Australia, whoop, Hawaii. That's Garrett. Hey, Istanbul, Rochester. What's that, Minnie? Searcy, Arkansas. Mervyn, South Africa. Berlin. Belgium.
I wrote Berlin. It's Belgium.
Minnie, you are the best. Minnie and I, during the week, we go back and forth on pronunciations. I think I'm getting a little better. If I could get Cinnaminson, I think I'm getting a little better, huh, Min?
Yes.
Okay, so once again, Festool Live, another episode 55. Next week is what? Episode what?
56.
Minnie, you're good at metric. Okay, hey, from all of us and Festool Live, we're going to say it again. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Rockin' what we get so much cool stuff planned this year with Festool Live. Oh, my God. Hey, Big D, Chris, Minnie, Brent, that's a wrap.